The series finales that have disappointed us over the years, this is something Matt and Ross and I have talked about, because those are heartbreaks. When you invest in characters and story for years of your life and then they fail you at the end, that's such a bitter disappointment and it sticks with you. And I will tell you this, having watched the final version of the final episode of the final season of Stranger Things, it is a masterpiece.
Yeah, that was all a lie. Because let's be honest with each other here, this season kinda sucked. Stranger Things went from possibly being one of the greatest shows of all time to somehow making the worst season of Stranger Things of all time. But how? How did the Duffer Brothers go from making Dear Billy and season 4, a season of television that was so good it made a great show even better somehow, to now where they had a final season that was so bad the fans are literally going schizophrenic and making things up in their head? Why do people believe there's a secret extra episode of Stranger Things that's going to fix everything they did wrong this season? Why does almost every major beloved show we watch always somehow mess up the final season or completely blow it in the end? But most importantly, why the heck is... Now look, before I go on my negative cry face rant and talk about every single thing that was wrong with this season and why it sucks, but let me tell you everything I genuinely loved about this season and I thought was great. Episodes 2 and 4 of this season, probably some of the best episodes of Stranger Things we've ever got. The writing, the pacing, the cinematography, the soundtracks of these episodes. Nell Fisher as Holly, loves her character, loved her acting. She was probably the best part about this season. Jake Connolly as delightful Derek, I hated him at the start and thought he was completely unnecessary to the show, but guess what? As the show went on, I started to like him. Vecna looks so much better this season. I'm guessing these past couple of years, my boy was on Ozempic and he was locked into the gym because our boy Henry is freaking jacked now. Seeing Will finally do something, using Vecna's powers instead of just crying or being scared or just being used in general. That was an amazing turning point for this character, which they found a way to waste somehow, and I'm gonna start getting negative, I'm getting aggravated. Let me forget about this. We'll talk about it later. Let me keep my mind on positive things. This scene between Steve and Dustin honestly made me choke up a little bit. I almost cried. The acting in it was phenomenal. I thought it was very well written. Great job. Number 8, having these cool different mind powers than everyone else was pretty cool, but that's about the only nice thing I'm gonna say about her moving forward. What else? The fight scene was pretty cool at the end. It was a little short and rushed and could have been a lot better, but it was pretty cool. And that's about it. All right, now that we're done with that, let me just say, what the heck happened to this season? Why is it so bad? What happened here? Look, right after watching the first episode of Stranger Things Season 5, I already knew that this season was gonna be bad. Because when we left our characters, the world was on fire. I mean, the way they set this next season up was incredible, and it really felt like we were about to get some serious, dramatic, amazing storytelling going forward. But instead, there's a major time jump with Robin giving us a recap of what's been going on. And long story short, everything's fine. It seems like nobody at all cares that there's demogorgons out there on the street that can take their children at any moment. Everyone's still sending their kids to school, and even though the city of Hawkins is on a government quarantine shutdown, we're still having fun on these fiery devil cracks, baby. Let's go on a slide ride. Woohoo! Because why the heck should we care about this guy who got his body split in half on his search for the Hellfire Club? I mean, I thought they did, because remember when they all got together at the school to try to figure out what the heck is happening, where all their kids are, and why there's so much evil around this area, and they all stopped trusting the government and the cops? By the way, what the heck happened to this guy? Where's the chief of police? Where's all of the police? Where's all of the people? Where is everyone? I guess that was all just for nothing. And honestly, man, just from the first episode of season 5 alone, the show just had an overall cheesy vibe and look, and the writing didn't make sense. The dialogue was super corny. So honestly, after the first episode, I was like, damn, this is gonna be rough. But even though episode 1 was really bad, episode 2 was so good it hooked you right back into the story and the show. And as the episodes went on in volume 1, each episode got better than the next. And honestly, by the time we all got to volume 1's finale, we couldn't freaking wait for volume 2. Because after the way they set up Will, we thought these next couple of episodes were going to be mind-blowing. But then we got volume 2, and oh my god. This show just freaking fell off a cliff. First of all, where is everyone? Where's Argyle? Where's Susie? Where the heck is Max's mom and dad? Do they care that their daughter's in a coma?
Can't find Maxine.
And her window's up. Where is she?
Where's Dr. Sam Owens or any of the major Hawkins lab science guys? What happened to Russia? Didn't we spend an entire season there with Demogorgons and a whole other portal there? What do we do about that? And I don't know, maybe I'm nuts, but didn't Eleven used to be the most important main character of this entire show? Why did she have almost no screen screen time this season. It's like the Duffer Brothers were more focused on trying to fix Callie, number 8, and that horrible episode they made, so they brought her back with 11, just for her to sacrifice herself at the end. Oh wait, did she or did she not? Because I guess even the Duffer Brothers don't know. They left it open-ended just in case Netflix wants to bring them back in the future and make some more money.
You need to start killing people off.
They just need to have one massacre scene where half the cast dies.
Huge massacre scene. No. That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is ridiculous. We need to be Game of Thrones. We need to have the mindset of Game of Thrones.
And just kill like a main character.
I know,
like,
kill me off.
Twist.
They tried killing David off. They brought him back.
Also, you remember when the Upside Down used to be scary and the Mind Flayer was one of the most creepy looking things you ever saw in your life? Why is the Upside Down so empty? Where's all the evil creatures that was killing and capturing everyone before? I mean, they kept telling us that November 6th was this very important day and that the Upside Down was frozen in time. It's like they kept telling us one thing, like this show was gonna have some kind of major time travel type sort of thing. And then for whatever reason, they scrapped all those plans and they turned the Upside Down into a wormhole? What happened here? Why is it a wormhole now? Look, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of unanswered questions from these 3 episodes alone. And I love how in this season, everyone's a freaking genius. They look at a bowl of cereal and they think of a whole convoluted plan to save the day.
Bugles.
I got it, guys. I got it.
But you know what? Forget about all the unanswered questions. Forget about all of the plot armor every character has in this show. And forget about the horrible writing and dialogue in the show as well.
Remember that time my sister kicked her balls so hard you limped for a week? I'll kick them so hard they'll pop like water balloons.
I say kick away. Stop this meathead from reproducing and further infecting the world with his unique brand of idiocy.
Dick.
What?
I like dick. Did you finally hit dick?
Hit the dick. Yep. Let's just hope it's not too hard.
If it is, I'll soften it.
Why, out of all of the other times in the world, all of the other seasons, all of the other episodes, did we choose the moment before they risked their lives and all die to try to save the world for Will to say this?
I don't like girls.
The world is ending.
You know what, man? This was so horrible. Like, I actually feel bad for Noah Schnapp, the way they butchered him this season, the horrible haircuts and outfits they forced him to wear, and all of the torture Will had to suffer these past 5 seasons. My God, this guy's life was horrible. You would think after that amazing Volume 1 finale, they finally got this character right, and they're gonna give him the story and arc that he deserves, but they just freaking fumbled it so bad after these, making him turn into the crying, whining, scared person all over again. Because after this incredible self-acceptance speech from Robin and him getting these powers, they found a way to take 100,000 steps backwards. But forget about Will. Why did we spend so much time with Holly, watching her and Max throughout all these episodes, only for her to just end up right back where she started, captured by Vecna? Why did we even spend that much time with her anyway? Just so we can get Max out of Vecna's mind? Which was for no reason, because she would end up going right back into Vecna's mind with 11 and 8 soon as she came back. So why did she even come back at all? Also, didn't Max go blind and bleed from the eyes? Wasn't she supposed to be paralyzed and basically a vegetable after all of this? This woman's recovery is a full-blown miracle from God, and it feels like nobody even cares. Or what about the fact that she thought Hopper was dead and now he's alive and she doesn't even care? Or what about Karen being half dead in the hospital bed, having a super quick miracle recovery, and knowing exactly how to save the day and stop the Demogorgons? Honestly, guys, I was just blown away from how bad they fumbled this season just from these 3 episodes. And there's so much more things they messed up on the show I didn't talk about. Like how the overall show just looks cheap now and the camera work is not as good as it used to be. The effects and CGI is so bad at times. The emotional beats feel so forced. But you know what my biggest problem with this season was? It's that it's not scary anymore. It's not even Stranger Things anymore. Looking back, the reason why season 1 is so much better than season 5 is because it was so much more simpler and they focused on things that mattered. The characters, the story, the mystery, and the 80s aesthetic. But instead of them doing that again this time around, it just felt like instead of focusing on the story of the show, their main focus was just how do we not kill our main characters? And this is what I think ruined the season and almost ruined the show entirely for me. Because their fear of killing off characters and overloading their show with too many characters and still somehow finding a way to force in some new ones is the main reason why this season feels so bloated and just overall cheap and predictable. Because guess what? You don't even have to kill main characters off in a show to make it good. That's not what I'm trying to say. But there needs to be some kind of consequence or effect to these characters or in this world in order for the threat to feel real. Because for 10 years, we've been feeling like something real bad is gonna happen, but nothing ever does. Everyone ends up always being okay somehow. But the worst part about all of this for me is the season finale itself. because I honestly thought it was really good, especially the epilogue, like the last 20-30 minutes that focuses on the characters. But because this season was just overall so bad, even though in some ways I do think they could have stick the landing, it didn't hit as hard as it could have because the story that led up to it was so bad. The ending wasn't as impactful as it could have been. And the very ending of the season finale, with all the kids grown up playing Dungeons and Dragons at this table, going up this staircase and closing the door on this chapter, was for sure the best part about this season finale. It made me freaking look at my own self and my own life and realize how old I got. And honestly, you can just tell that this very ending, the last 10 to 20 minutes, was exactly what the Duffer Brothers were talking about when they said,
yeah, I honestly can't remember when, but we've had the final scene for a really long time. That last scene is what we've always envisioned. I do think the final episode, you know, the final 2-hour episode is the episode I'm most proud of.
But when you attach this beautiful masterpiece of an ending right behind a bunch of horrible, smelly butt crack nonsense, it's not gonna really hit that hard for us, which is why so many people don't want to even accept this ending. And now there's hundreds or even thousands of people that believe in Conformity Gate, which is a theory that this entire season was a Vecna trance and that none of it was real, and there's a secret season or episode that's coming out that's gonna fix all this. And if you're one of the people that believe this is gonna happen, I'm sorry, it's 100% not gonna happen. However, I will say the fan theories and the speculation is better than the actual season we got of Stranger Things, and that just breaks my heart, man, because I thought the very ending of this show was so well done and so beautiful, and it literally made me cry, not for the show ending or the characters or that feeling of what am I gonna do now in my life, but it made me feel something completely different that no show's ever made me feel before. It made me see my age. It held up a mirror and said, bro, the show's over. It's time to move on. Don't be like Mike and Dodge going partying with the girls so you can go play Dungeons and Dragons. Go to that party, live your life, because life is passing by, and it made me want to just be a better person and make the most out of every second of life because time is going by so freaking fast. I mean, when I first watched this show, I was 16-year-old and single, and now the show ended and I'm 26 with 2 kids. What the heck happened? So you know what, man? Even though this season was really freaking bad, it still had some great moments with a great ending, and those previous 4 seasons are still some of the best TV you could ever watch, and they freaking molded me as a person, man. They made me look at film and TV in such a different way, and they really inspired me a lot, which is why after all that, even with all the bad, I still think that I keep telling you guys not to subscribe, and you people did it to me 10,000 times. So now I'm so mad I'm giving something away. Like I did with this guy. This schmuck won a PS5 because he subscribed. How stupid is he? So if you want to get involved, do me a favor. Do not push any of these freaking buttons in the description or the pinned comment below. And don't push any of these buttons to enter the giveaway. But most importantly, please don't like this video and stop subscribing. Please stop. Jesus loves you guys. Take care. God bless.